Besides being a beautiful Gulf Coast beach resort, Sarasota, Florida is also a circus town. It was once the winter home of John Ringley's world-famous three-ring spectacle. Today, it's the year-round home to Alexandra and Jeffrey Coe, who have nestled into this classic Florida home to raise a family. Traveling and living in foreign lands has given Alex a taste for international cooking, and she's acquired such a huge assortment of unusual spices that her current spice rack can only hold a small fraction of them. So today, I'm in Sarasota to help Alex and Jeff create a spice cabinet that they can grow into.
Also, we spent 3 years living in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really?
And kind of when we lived in Saudi Arabia, that's when I really got into all these exotic spices.
Go down to the bazaar and
oh, yeah,
buy
it was
them out of the...
fabulous. The colors and
Yeah.
the smell. And so now what happens is I just don't have enough space for all of my things. I end up having some spices in my freezer, some at my mother-in-law's house, and then I'm going to cook and something I need I don't have. So
And I think the best way to get you more storage space on this is to make this deeper,
okay.
but not so deep that you can't see what's in back.
Right.
I suggest we build a large open-faced cabinet with a permanent shelf near the top. Beneath it, we'll install 2 vertical dividers that will support several adjustable shelves. We're building our cabinet out of 3/4-inch thick red oak veneer plywood, which is sold in 4x8 foot sheets. Jeff and Alex take turns cutting each cabinet part to width on the table saw. Once the pieces are cut, our next step will be to cross-cut each one to the proper length. And for that, I use a homemade table saw accessory called a cradle.
Does it come with a saw, or do you guys make a saw?
Well, I made it for my daughter when she was very young, and now I use it on the saw. Actually, it is. It's an attachment that goes on the saw. You can make this out of plywood, and it converts the table saw into essentially a cross-cut saw, a very accurate one. To use it, we line up our cut mark with the kerf, or blade slot, on the bottom of the cradle. Now, I also made a wood stop with a notch on the end, which I clamp to the rear edge of the cradle. This is going to make sure that the second piece we cut will be exactly the same length as the first. We don't have to remeasure. We can just simply put this board in here, slide it up against that stop, make
That's
1,
clever.
2, or 50 cuts. They'll all be
Gotcha.
exactly the same. I crank up the table saw blade, and Alex cuts the top, bottom, and side sections. Then Jeff takes over for the shelves and dividers. With each piece now cut to size, it's time to cut some joints. The joints will give us a stronger cabinet and make assembly easier. First, we're going to cut an L-shaped groove called a rabbet down the back edge of each side panel. The plywood back will slip inside the rabbets, and the raw edges of the back will be concealed. To cut the rabbets, I fitted the table saw with a dado blade, which is actually a pair of saw blades with a series of so-called chippers in between. There you go.
Not bad.
Your first rabbit.
Not
And a
bad.
perfect rabbit it is. Now, the next rabbit that we're going to cut is going to be just like the one we cut for the back, except wider, because that's where the top right here is going to sort of rest or nest into the side. So all I've done is move the fence back to expose more of the blade, 3/4 of an inch. Alex, put it down like this. Slide it through nice and slow. So this is where our top is going to go, in that rabbet that we just cut. We also have a divider that's going to intersect this side, and then we have a bottom that's going to intersect the side down here. So what we want to do is cut those out next. And going back to our cradle, but now we're using the dado saw, the dado blade. In the middle of the side panels, Alex and Jeff cut grooves for the shelves, called dados. After making a final set of rabbets to receive the bottom, our cutting is complete. All right, you know what this is?
Bunch of holes.
Pegboard.
Pegboard. You're both right, actually. It is pegboard. We're going to use this as a drilling template because on the sides of the cabinet, we're going to need a series of holes equally spaced into which we'll put pins for shelf supports. Alex uses a portable drill press to drill a line of perfectly straight holes through the pegboard and down the length of the side panels. You know what they say about this? It's a very boring job.
I heard that somewhere.
There you go.
It looks great.
Now these are the shelves right here.
Okay.
But you notice they've got this really kind of unattractive plywood edge right here. So we're going to cover that up and make this look like solid wood with this product right here. This is wood edge banding, real oak.
It's real wood.
On the back though, we've got an adhesive. The adhesive is heat activated, so we use an iron to warm the face of the edging and soften the glue on the back.
Now, does it give you a temperature on the
I used to go with cotton.
for this? Cotton is the way
I
to
figure
go?
cotton's pretty close to wood. Next, we apply pressure by running a laminate roller over the banding. This forces the adhesive into contact with the edge and assures a firm bond. Let's see, who would know?
Yeah, you would never know.
You never know. That looks great.
You got it. Okay, YouTube, let's put this together without any glue in it, just to make sure everything works. I call this a dry fit. And if we have made a mistake, it would be a good thing to find it out before we have glue over everything. Huh? And there are the two sides. This is the top up here. That's the bottom. No, that's the top. This is the bottom. Okay. All right, looks good, huh?
Good, yeah.
Dang, Ron, you're
Yeah.
a genius.
Oh, doggone it, couldn't have done it without you guys. Well, after congratulating each other on a successful dry fit, we're ready to permanently assemble the cabinet. I run a narrow bead of glue down those rabbets we cut, then distribute it evenly with a brush. So we're going to slip this on. We clamp the 4 sections together and allow the glue to dry. Then apply more glue along the tops to attach our back panel. Finally, we glue and nail the back in place. The combination of both will give us a very sturdy cabinet.
It's got
We
it.
need one of those, too.
Yeah, all this stuff.
Hey,
We need all this stuff.
I can see you guys. Big shopping trip to the Home Improvement
Yeah.
Center, right?
That's it. Lowe's, here we go.
That's right.
After our glue dries, we turn the cabinet on its back and brush more glue into the rabbets for the fixed shelf. Slide it into place and secure it with finish nails. We repeat the process for the 2 dividers, and Jeff taps them into place with the heel of his hand, being careful not to...
Ouch!
Well, Alex bounces right back and moves on to the next step. Being plywood, the unfinished edge of the cabinet is not very attractive, so we're going to conceal it with a face frame. We brush on glue, then apply 1.5 inch wide strips of oak that we cut earlier. The result, a more substantial, finished look. Now we're ready to stain the spice cabinet to match the existing kitchen cabinets. We apply the stain with pads made just for this purpose. On vertical surfaces like these, they help minimize dripping and running. Okay, I'm going to climb up here, and we're going to put a screw right into the wall stud right here. Finally, we install the brackets for the adjustable shelves, and our spice cabinet is ready for stocking. So what do you think?
I think it looks great.
I had no idea we were this talented.
You know, the moment I saw you, I said, now this is a couple who could really build a great spice cabinet. And I was
And we
right.
did it, too.
And you got some extra room here?
I do, and I need some extra room because I need some more spices. I see I'm running low on fermented black beans, I'm running low on cardamom, and I'm just about out of biryani. That's one of Jeff's favorites.
Well, Alex and Jeff's new cabinet should provide ample space for all their spices. And whenever they use it, they'll have the satisfaction of knowing they built it themselves.